Welcome back, football lovers. You're listening to episode 14 of our World Cup 2026 series, titled The Surge Halted. I'm Arthur, here to guide you through the rich tapestry of the beautiful game.
And I'm Nora, bringing you the numbers, the tactics, and the modern architecture behind those beautiful moments. We have an absolutely stacked episode today, Dad.
Indeed we do, Nora. Let's start with a look back at some of the recent clashes. The narrative across the tournament right now is simply spellbinding. We had Norway battling Senegal 3-2, England 0-0 against Ghana, and that absolute thriller between Cabo Verde and Uruguay, which remains unique. The big names truly put on a show for the ages. Cristiano Ronaldo silenced every single critic out there, ending his goal drought with a brilliant first-half brace against Uzbekistan, making history as the first to score at 6 World Cups. And then there's Erling Haaland doubling up to seal Norway's spot in the last 32, not to mention Lionel Messi breaking scoring records against Austria. Plus, that incredible 2-hour storm break couldn't stop Kylian Mbappé from dazzling. He and Dembélé just proved too good for Iraq when play finally resumed.
It was a day for the superstars, absolutely. But what's fascinating is how the underlying metrics support this record pace of goals we're seeing, partly thanks to the aerodynamics of the new World Cup ball. If you look at Haaland's performance against Senegal, his expected goals, or XG, per 90 minutes is off the charts. He's finding incredibly high-value spaces. On the flip side, we have to talk about England's weak points against Ghana. If you pull up the expected goals on target variant, England showed real inefficiency in the final third. They generated big chances, but missed far too many. And looking at Cabo Verde against Uruguay, the heat maps show Cabo Verde's mid-block completely cutting off Uruguay's progressive passes. Uruguay looked totally out of ideas. Speaking of tactical execution, let's take a deep dive into Congo today. They have Colombia coming up, and Congo has been a revelation. Their 4-3-3 formation relies on an incredibly aggressive pressing trap. When you look at their tackles per 90 and interceptions per 90, they are completely suffocating opponents in the middle of the pitch. The wingers track back to create numerical overloads, effectively neutralizing any transition play. And the energy from Sadiki is just frantic. It is a very modern, highly efficient ecosystem they have built.
You see efficiency? I see pure grit and determination. That kind of defensive resilience reminds me of the classic underdog spirit that makes the World Cup so magical. They are playing with immense heart, and it's infectious. The atmosphere is going to be electric, too. Word is, there's a very well-known supporter flying in to be present for Congo DR against Colombia. It is that kind of passionate backing that elevates a team's performance beyond what any of your spreadsheets can predict, Nora. And since we're talking about defensive brilliance and grit, it brings to mind a true legend of the game, the great Bobby Moore. You know, I remember watching the restored footage of the 1970 World Cup. His reading of the game was pure art. That iconic, perfectly timed tackle on Jairzinho. He didn't have to rely on raw speed. He played with this aura of absolute calm. He was a gentleman on the pitch, anticipating the play and sweeping up danger before the crowd even realized there was a threat.
Moore is the ultimate prototype of defensive intelligence. In today's analytics framework, a player with his profile would completely dominate the interceptions per 90 and big chances prevented charts. He was essentially a human algorithm, calculating the attacker's trajectory and intervening at the exact optimal millisecond. It really just proves that tactical awareness and spatial control have always been the foundation of great defending, long before we had the software to track it. But moving off the pitch to something much less sophisticated, the internet culture right now is wild. Social media is absolutely flooded with Gen AI anime fights, perfectly mimicking the match results. It's hilarious. We literally saw scheduled hydration breaks happening when a torrential downpour was kicking in.
The modern internet never misses a beat. I admit, I don't quite understand the appeal of those artificial anime videos, but a hydration break during a biblical downpour? That is just classic bureaucratic comedy. I read that FIFA's Gianni Infantino announced they will analyze the use of hydration breaks at future World Cups. A bit late for the drenched players, I'd say. Sometimes, common sense gets entirely lost in the regulations. Looking forward to today's action, the schedule is packed. We've got Panama and Croatia facing a massive must-win game tonight in Toronto. The Croatian fans are already creating an incredible atmosphere there. We also have Switzerland taking on Canada, with Jesse Marsch hinting that Alphonso Davies is a real possibility to come off the bench. Then there's the Colombia versus Congo match we highlighted, plus Bosnia against Qatar.
The Canada-Switzerland clash will be a massive tactical battle, especially seeing what the chemistry will be like with Eustáquio and Saliba in midfield. The stakes across the board are incredibly high today, but with all these options, what are we going to lock in on tonight?
Let's go for Colombia-Congo, and after that Switzerland-Canada. The stakes for these squads are fascinating, and I really want to witness Canada writing history.
It's a date. I'll get the XG plus XA per 90 charts ready. You bring the snacks. Thank you all for tuning in to episode 14 of the World Cup 2026 podcast.
Goodbye, everyone. Join us tomorrow as we break down more exciting news. Until then, keep enjoying the beautiful game.